gentlemen, welcome back to the Airing It Out podcast live. I am Dustin Marion. He is Hollow Clutch. Welcome in, everybody. We're excited for another show on Friday. It's the week before Thanksgiving. I'm sure everybody's excited, but apparently you can't be that excited because there's some rules now. Hello, Hollow. How are you doing? How was your week?
So far, so good. It was a little hectic. I built a new PC. Got some new parts.
Yeah, talk to me a little bit about this. You built a PC. Okay. So what did we get this time?
We got like lots of sparks and glitter and lights, and I upgraded.
RBG.
Yeah, I went RBG the route where it's like just lights everywhere, and I'm in love. Tomorrow I just got to do a little more cable management. My friend's gonna come over and help me with it a little bit because that's where I suck. So he's gonna help me with that. But so far so good. It's been a good week. Can't complain. It's getting really cold in New York.
Cooler? Did you get a liquid cooler?
Yes, I did.
How much did that set you back? 2 bills?
$300.
Damn.
And I got the insurance, so $330.
Shit. I know. I'm right now. It's so funny. I'm using a laptop to do too much stuff, and I'm like ready to buy my computer. And last night I was trying to do some stuff, and I thought my computer was gonna take a shit, and I was like, no, please don't do this.
It's just gonna die on you right in the spot.
Oh, I mean, I've been really doing a lot of things with a fucking small ass laptop for 9 months. I think I got the most out of it. I think it's time to do a little bit of an upgrade. You know, especially since now the fans are starting to grow and people are starting to listen to the message and enjoy what we're putting down.
I mean, you're not wrong. And
right.
Talking about that stuff, you know, we got some interesting topics today. And,
it was a busy week. It seems like it's been a busy month. November didn't disappoint.
I know. I think people are just getting crazy because people are reaching their limit with COVID, and then holidays are around the corner, and then you got PlayStation, you got Xbox, you got
Black Friday, you got Thanksgiving. Yep. You can't hang out with people. You got family coming. I mean, Christmas is right around the corner.
Yep.
They're about to cut off unemployment after the holidays, but everybody's going to spend like they got money on the reserve.
Yep.
I mean, it's going to be really crazy to see the holiday shopping season.
It's crazy to me because I talked to my girl about it, and I'm like, because we were driving around, and it's like, I think we went somewhere to get something. It was like, we went to my friend's house. We went to go see Emmanuel and his girl's crib, and they live in Harlem, but like more up, like 145th, not Harlem, but like other side
Spanish
of Harlem.
Harlem.
Yeah, so like we go there, and it's like bumper to bumper, double parked cars. There's no spots, and I'm like, how do people got all these cars, and people say they got no money? Like, why are there not less cars on the street? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are there not less people driving around in New York? Like, traffic is the kind of back to normal in New York.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, like bumper to bumper, an hour and a half, like 2-hour traffic, and it's like, sheesh. Imagine the people who going to work, or people back
I feel
to
like even before COVID really affected people, there's so many people out there that live above their means.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And just because the credit will get it doesn't mean you should get it. You know what I mean? And I think that, especially in New York City, they should have like an incentive that if every household has one car, you get like a tax break or something. Because it's kind of crazy that there's like, let's say one family, and one family has like 3 cars per home.
Yep.
Right? That's a lot of whips that you got to be parking. And then, New York is huge, but at the same token, it's kind of the problem all over the United States where parking is an issue, right? And they don't really build structures to accommodate.
Well, especially New York City is just horrendous for the structures of the way they built it.
Yeah, here too. In California, they don't even know how to do it, and we have space. You know what I mean? It's just baffling. I'm like, instead of making another building, why don't you just condemn the building and
make
just
a parking
make it a
lot?
parking
Something?
lot? Yeah,
sure.
Like, and then just charge people rent. Be like, yo, $200 a month to park here.
Because in Cali is a little weird. Like I'll be in the burbs here. Like the parking spots are like 17 feet for a car, but then there's like 4 spots on the block, 17 feet where you can fit like 9 cars.
I mean, over here it's a little different, but yeah, pretty much. I mean, like when you go to the cities, it's really hard because like everybody's parked on the street. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully everybody's driving Teslas in a few years, so that maybe all of that stuff, because that can't be good for the environment. All of these fucking cars, and we just continue to buy more and more cars.
Well, I forgot what it was. I think Alex Jones was on Rogan, and he was talking about how you waste more. You affect the environment more with an electric car than with a fossil fuel car.
Well, that's argumentative, and I had on K10, and we kind of talked about it a little bit. It's actually a really fascinating discussion because a lot of those parts right now they don't really know how to dispose of them, and
Yep.
then it takes so much, let's say, not manpower, but it definitely leaves a carbon footprint when you're trying to make all of these cars and create new technologies, and you don't even know how to get the waste out. I mean, we figured out fossil fuel and all that stuff and the way cars operate with that. The problem is that we're still reliant to oil, and
I'm sorry. I think we could save money and don't fuck up the earth. Start putting shit in rocket ships and sending that shit into space. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I'm surprised we don't do that.
Like
right?
instead of putting into the ocean where food is, put that shit on a rocket ship and throw it into the thing. You start charging these like companies, but hey, you have like a 2% tax, and this is for your garbage tax, and like put them shits in a fucking spaceship. There's a one way, and ship it the fuck out of the earth. We keep putting it back into the ground or into the oceans, where they're saying like 5 to like 12% of like plastic goes into fish. So when you eat fish, there's plastic in fish.
Jesus.
So like we're starting to consume it. So it's kind of crazy that we don't have a better solution for waste.
I know, but I think a large part of the problem is that we just keep on like flip flopping, especially with the election that just passed. It's like, okay, we get like majority Democrats, and then there's a Republican president, and nothing happens. And then we do it the other way. We get like
nothing happens.
Majority Republicans, and then a Democratic president in office, and then nothing happens. And then the lobbyists are like somewhere in the middle, trying to keep both sides happy financially and not making changes.
I seen one time they were saying that somebody brought this up. It was like, hey, if the country is making money and we're not in a deficit, those people stay in power. If we are in a deficit and the country's not making money, everybody gets out. A new group of people come in.
Right.
It should be something along those lines. But the system definitely needs a revamp.
Oh, well, I don't think it's going to happen. We're going to have something a little bit more chaotic and like
drastic,
more apocalyptic for that to happen. I was really excited because I know you're really passionate about the NBA and basketball. Did you see that James Harden was potentially being shopped, and one of the places of intrigue was going to be the Brooklyn Nets?
Yeah, I've seen that the reports all week. I don't like that fit because of Kyrie. I think if it was James Harden and Kevin Durant, I think it would work out. But for what they have to give up to get Harden, which is basically like their whole bench, I don't see it working too far. Just because Kyrie is an emotional dude, he won a championship, left after winning a championship because he said supposedly he was tired of LeBron. Like these youngins get tired of greatness. As much as shit as I give LeBron, he's a great player. You're winning there. They kind of won because of you, but you still wanted to be the quote unquote man.
Right.
But Kyrie has to have a better perspective on his basketball career. Like, for the most part, bro, you were in the lottery when you were in the Cavs without LeBron. Like, they did get 2 number 1 picks while you were on the Cavs. So, like, don't make it seem like you were this franchise changer. And then you go to the Celtics and you guys get bumped in the second round, but then you're not there the year after, and your team goes to the Eastern Conference Finals and lost in Game 7 to make it to the NBA Finals without you. So, like, I think people get glossy over the fact that Kyrie is so flashy and his game is nice, but it's so flashy. But when you look at the raw numbers, he's a good player, not a fantastically great player. And that's a hot take.
And you also bring in the baggage, right?
Yep.
Like that's
and he's injury prone. He's OD injury prone. He might get into some shit maybe with Kevin Durant, where he's like, "Yo, Kevin, this shit is whack," and there's bounce. You know, like there's always something that can happen. And then Kevin's a sensitive dude, and then James Harden has been conditioned to dribble for like 48 minutes, and then shoot a shot because of Mike D'Antoni. And Mike is joining the Nets staff as an assistant coach.
Is he really?
Yeah, under Steve Nash. So it's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of things. And the only guy who does fit is Kevin Durant because he played with the Warriors and he could move without the ball and shoot off the catch and shoot. So that's a tough part that I don't see James Harden doing.
But before we even dive even closer to this, if you had to pick a team that would fit better for him, who would you take?
For James,
Yes.
I would probably pick the Sixers. I think what everybody's talking about, you just trade him straight up for Ben Simmons, and it'll be Embiid and James in the pick and roll. I think that would be insane. And the Sixers got more shooting, so that helps them out. Like the Sixers team has been dysfunctional, but has been sneaky good in the East. But these guys, the fact that Ben Simmons refuses to shoot a 5-foot jump shot for whatever reason and hasn't gotten better at that has limited this team. So that's where I see James going.
I like the Sixers, and I agree with you that they have been sneaky good. But the problem also is, I think too, for that team, if you bring in Harden, Embiid is just also an injury-prone player and hasn't really finished a whole season for the most part. I mean, I think he might have played this whole season and the last, but prior to that, he got silly injuries that kept him out of the runs where they really needed him. I wouldn't even know where to put him, only because, man, Harden seems like a tough character to try to mesh with, and I've seen his leadership from Houston. It hasn't been great. I mean, I think for this though, to flip it on a different way, if he was to join the Nets, I mean, that's an instant powerhouse, at least from a fan perspective, where you're gonna sell out games once COVID is over. You're gonna sell tons of jerseys.
It's gonna they're talented enough to make it, and they should,
Right, the East is weak without LeBron James.
Correct.
In it.
And they're so talented that they'll steamroll bad teams and probably beat good teams. But when it comes to the great teams, I don't see them, if they give up what they're going supposedly reportedly give up, like Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie, Jared Allen, like those are the three core pieces of what make the Nets good. Because the Nets made it to the playoffs last year, and that's without Kyrie and KD, and they were playing decent in the bubble.
Was that due to the fact of the shortened season, or were they?
No, they were making it. They were making it the playoffs regardless. Because for the most part, the East was locked. It was only the West that they had to fight for the last two playoff spots.
Okay.
So
where were they finishing? Where was their seeding?
I think they were like the 6th seed or 7th seed.
That's still pretty good. I mean, for a team that has nothing.
Exactly. Well, like I said, Karis LeVert is good. Spencer Dinwiddie is good. Like for guys who are not big names.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
They're good. Yeah, they were good. Like Karis LeVert was scoring 30 a game, like in the playoffs. Like he was balling. Wow. But it's like everybody's waiting for Kevin Durant and Kyrie. So I don't know what they're gonna do. I just I'd rather see if they were to get like Serge Ibaka. I think that would fit them better. He's a big man who spaces the floor. Now you have him, so you'll have Kyrie at the 1. You could put anybody at the 2, KD at the 3, Serge at the 4, and DeAndre Jordan at the 5. So they got 2 shot blocking big men, and one of your big men could shoot threes, which is Serge Ibaka. You could put him at any one of the corners. So that's what I would do, or I would put Kyrie and this guy in the pick and roll, DeAndre Jordan. But I don't know what they're gonna do.
Let me play a little devil's advocate with that lineup that you're talking about. If Kyrie's a little injury prone and KD hasn't been healthy in the last few years, would Serge Ibaka be a player that you would want to get, knowing that there's a potential that those two players might not be available when you have a guy like Harden who pretty much can score? I mean, Harden's really his bad knock, besides him not being able to do that much without the ball, and he's not the greatest leader during the playoffs. Regular season, homeboy's a beast.
For sure.
I mean, if you have a regular season animal, that's going to help you out immensely. And I mean, in your opinion, not saying that the Nets are that dangerous, but who's dangerous in the East? Celtics? And besides Celtics, is it a cliff or is there other teams?
You got the Bucks, but
the Sixers and the Bucks, right?
But the fact that the Bucks just lost Bogdanovich, that was a big blow to them. I'm not signing him. I don't think Giannis stays.
I wouldn't either if I was him. No offense to Milwaukee. I love you guys. You guys make great beer. But I mean, I'm Giannis. I'm the second best player on the planet in the sense of size and notoriety and what I deliver. You got to go to a huge market. I mean, if I was representing him as my client, unless, I mean, I don't even know how you market him. I mean, he does great commercials and stuff like that, but I'm like, who's coming to Milwaukee to help me? Exactly. Right. And like, that's not a place
Nobody.
Right. Fucking free agents are not lining up to head to Milwaukee. Milwaukee's cold as fuck during the winter.
And his issue is that he just needs to get better at shooting. Like some of these guys, like I feel like guys lose the perspective on what, like, you're so talented. You're a talented basketball player, and you should be in the gym shooting 5,000 make threes or 5,000 make jump shots before you even fucking leave the gym. Like, you're talking about if you were like one of the best players on the planet and you still can't shoot a jump shot and you fizzled out on the last two playoffs, which is Giannis, you got to develop that part of your game, and he still hasn't developed that part of his game.
I also think that there's nobody on his team, and this might be a hot take, but I don't think there's nobody on his team to push him to the next level. I don't even know if the coaching staff there is going to be phenomenal enough to be. That's why I think he needs to go to a more competitive team. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's other players that are better than him or challenging him for the number one spot, and not so much as a positional player, but more so like in the sense of, you know, fame and all that other stuff. And so maybe it might potentially lead him to elevate his game. I think he's good, but we might be asking too much from him as well, right? Like,
he might need a 1A, which is fine.
Yeah,
like, exactly. I thought the Warriors were going to try to give the number 2 pick and maybe Draymond for him, and maybe a couple more future first round picks, the Warriors, because I don't think he's staying. And I think he needed to team up with Steph, because like if it's him and Steph, game over. They won the championship.
That's the problem.
Game over. They win a championship. Because this whole
what if you're the Clippers? Would you want to try to get Giannis?
It'll be
the way they work is not going to be functional.
He would have to play the center on the team, which would be a possibility. That's how they would have to run it. He wouldn't, because
he's so big.
Yeah, he's so big, and the issue there is you got Paul George, who just folds in the playoffs too. So like,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you could get a Paul George, like I feel like some of these guys need to be like in the perfect mix that elevates their game. But
for sure,
I don't know. There's only so many teams, and if it's not, you know, if you're not going to GS, like right now, it sounds so weird. It's like there's only a couple of teams that you know are gonna make a playoff run, and it's like whether or not you want to jump on that bandwagon to go, right?
Yep.
Like, LA is going to be on it all the time. I think the Clippers, maybe you can say argumentatively, they're going to be there every year. Golden State. So that's, you know, 3 big teams in California. But I mean, outside of that, would he flourish if he went to the Celtics?
Maybe, because a lot of those guys they need to dribble and shoot. A lot of those guys in the Celtics.
Gotcha.
So like Jason Tatum, he's good, but he has to dribble and shoot up. Jaylen Brown, he catches, shoots from the corner, but again, he has to create. I think the perfect spot, if he doesn't go to Golden State, which I think will be the ideal place for him to go, would probably be the Mavericks. Because you got Kristaps, he could shoot, and Doncic shoots. And then they got shooters all around him with Tim Hardaway. And then he'll just be the guy in the middle. So that
maybe he needs to do a little less so that it's not so much pressure.
Correct. And then another thing that they were talking about, that Mike Budenholzer, which is the coach from the Bucks, you got to start playing. You got to start playing Giannis 38 minutes a night. 39 minutes. He like 31 minutes a night. 32 minutes a night. So like, you're not ramping him up and getting him ready for the playoffs, because even in the playoffs he was capping him like at 33 minutes. And like, he's 25 years old. He's supposed to be 38 minutes a night, 39 minutes a night. Like, he's your best player on your team. He's a back-to-back MVP, and you have him kind of on a minutes restriction. You can't do that.
You know what I find interesting too, because I've seen some old tape on Giannis, that he was a really good shooter, and then he went into the gym and got massively yoked. And it seems like that Euro part of his game has kind of like evaded him, and now it's about like catching it down in the post and just dunking that shit.
True. When nobody can stop you, the way to...
No, I get you. I get that. But then, you know, when you have teams that can stop you, then it causes a problem, because then you're not going to get that easy lane, dunking it on every fucking body. That's not how basketball works, especially in the playoffs. I feel like that's something that a lot of people maybe don't still understand.
Yeah, because you're playing somebody for 2 weeks.
Right. We're gonna give you the the rack easy during the regular season. You're gonna have to earn that layup, all those easy layups in the playoffs. It's a lot. It's a totally different basketball game in the playoffs than it is in the regular season.
Cause I always thought when I sit back and I watch these guys and the way I would strategize it to play defense, or I was a head coach. Like if I was LeBron, like if I was playing against LeBron, I'm either doing one or two things. Either I'm gonna pack the paint and I'm gonna back up off LeBron, and if he could hit 11 threes, 12 threes in a game, by golly gee, hats off to you, LeBron. But I know he's not that great of a 3-point shooter. So if he does that, I can't do nothing about it. But if I was somebody, I would let him shoot. Keep letting him shoot. Don't let him get to the basket. Or I would just let him get to the basket. And I'm staying at home on all the 3-point shooters. Right, you're not getting no skip passes, no nothing. Let him go for 60. But everybody else, you don't get to score today.
I think that's how Greg Popovich stopped him. They just let him go off, and then they just stopped all the other bummies on the team.
That's it. That's what you gotta do. The first when they swept him when he was young, he backed up off him. Let him shoot.
Yep, we just let him do his thing.
Just let shoot. You have to shoot. And then he got a little bit of the jump shot, and then he was like, "All right, we're gonna just stay at home. Everybody stay at home, and if LeBron goes off, LeBron goes off." And that's how I would guard LeBron. Now, if I was James Harden, I would do the same exact thing. Everybody stay home. Don't give up any corner threes, no wing threes, nothing. Or you just let Harden shoot too, because Harden, for as many points as he does put up, his 3-point percentage isn't that great. Like it's not like what you think it would be. He's like 36, 37%, which is an okay 3-point shooter.
Right.
Not a great 3-point shooter where you got these guys shooting 40% now, 42%, 43%, like crazy, numbers. So I would do that. Let him dribble for 75 minutes, do a step back, and if he hits 15 of those, God bless him. But I'm not going to give him 25 free throws in a game. I'm just not going to keep letting that happen. I'll back up and let that happen. Or if I'm going to guard him up, I'm staying home on everybody else. You got to let him, if he's going to score 80 points, so be it. But everybody else is going to have 0 or 10 points. Stop leaving people open.
I think to bring up the late great Kobe Bryant, if people shoot themselves in and out of hot streaks, right? Mm-hmm. Then the best thing to do is to let someone just hold the ball the whole time.
Exactly.
Right? Because if the players are not getting shots off, then they're not getting in rhythm.
Exactly.
So you could be a ball hog all day. 80 is not going to win the game. 120, 130 is going to win the game. So you're going to at least need to involve, from an offensive standpoint, one other person. And if that person is off, you can beat, I think, the team every week.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And
James
Harden doesn't do a lot of movement without the basketball. So like, you stay at home with him or stay at home with the shooters. He's fucked because he doesn't like to move without the ball and shoot off catch and shoot or cut back door. He doesn't do any of those things that they asked him to do in the Mike D'Antoni system. So I would do that. That's what would be my approach to a lot of that guarding those two guys.
Yeah, no, I'm surprised that it wasn't drawn up more that way, because I think that was one of the things that was at least my takeaway when I watched the Spurs handle LeBron, and I was just like, that makes so much sense. That it goes down like that, and people, it just so happens so quickly. The de-evolution of someone's gameplay, as long as when you let them play, it's almost like the Bill Belichick stuff. I'm gonna take away your best thing. And then if you beat me somewhere else, that's
so
great.
Be it.
But you didn't beat me with your best play.
Yep.
And you got to become more creative. And I think that, which is weird because we have so much teaching of coaches, right? That it's so weird that people don't try to like borrow some of that stuff, right? Where people kind of shy away from it. And not only that, also too, when they're trying to stop these individuals, that people don't try to understand how effective that is, and then they go in there and they just do whatever the hell they want, and it becomes a shoot off. You know what I mean?
Yep. And what hurts me is that Clay being injured, man. He ruptured his Achilles on his other leg.
Yeah, I told you this is gonna be crazy for me to say. I felt like they should have moved off for Thompson. And
No,
not,
no way.
yeah, bro, you could probably get a lot more for him. I'm not saying that he's not fire, but I don't know. All of a sudden, it seems like GS is starting to fall apart.
But remember, the way he got hurt was some bullshit. I thought Danny Green in that game should have been ejected because when Klay Thompson went up for the dunk, he kind of went under him and made him like tilt to the side, and that's how he fucked up his ACL. But like
So what does that mean? That means he's gonna be shut down for
another
whole
year,
right?
another whole year. But like before he got hurt in the finals 2 years ago, he was Iron Man. He didn't miss any games. So and they're
You said maybe it's a little freaky.
yeah, it was super freaky. Like the way that he got hurt with his like ACL, the way that Danny Green hit him was a little fucked up because he was cooking them in that game 5, and he was going off, and it looked like oh shit they're gonna win that they won that game, and like he was gonna be ready for game 6, and they were gonna probably get a chance to win that game, and the fact that he got ACL. Now this one it was a regular pickup game, and his Achilles went, and doctors still can't even explain how your Achilles goes, and once it goes, it just goes. Like there's it's a weird injury. They always say, but hopefully with modern medicine, he's good to go. He's a top 20 player in the NBA, and it sucks that he got hurt the way he got hurt. And it was laughable to see the news media and all these sports talk shows talk about, oh, Golden State wasn't going to be what Golden State was going to be. I'm like, how are you guys discounting these two guys' pedigree with Klay and Steph Curry? Like,
Yo, bro, at 100%, that whole team is a problem.
yeah, like
At 100%, the whole team is a problem. Even the fact we talked about it last week, when you think about like the homegrown talent that these guys were able to get and get the most out of. And I don't even remember Thompson being on anybody's like top 10 radar within the draft. Curry came in with a little bit of a pedigree because he was dominating, college basketball at the time. And Davis was making a good push and a good run. So he came in a little different. Same thing with Draymond. Draymond came out of nowhere, and these guys were able to excel. So I think that I'm not a huge GS fan, but I respect that team a lot.
Me too. I just love the way they play.
From the front office, from the way they coach it on the field to the way they play the game. I mean, they're unstoppable. They to be honest with you, they got KD for extra.
Yep.
They didn't need KD to dominate. They were dominating already.
Like they went to the finals for 5 straight years, and people are like dismissing what the talent level. Like Steph Curry changed the game.
The other day, bro. It's because what you said the other day. Nobody on that name. Nobody has the LeBron jersey on that team, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly. And that's just it's just a sad part. Like they try to like I was watching these guys and I'm like I get it. LeBron is great, but LeBron has a losing record in the finals. Like I don't care. Like again, you like most people admire getting there. Cool, but you got to win, and Golden State was winning. Golden State, like even the series against the Raptors, like they were gonna win that one too if KD doesn't get hurt and Thompson doesn't get hurt.
Listen, don't get me started on that bullshit.
So like
the fact that everybody was giving my man like the ultimate praise for being GS. I was like, you beat GS limping. You didn't really. That team wasn't at 100%.
Not at all. Like Kevin Durant was on one leg and was cooking on one leg in the first quarter and a half. Like, what are you guys talking about? And Klay Thompson was cooking on game 5, and Klay Thompson missed game 2 with a hamstring injury. So don't make it seem like you guys were doing something like out of the world special. Golden State full strength. You guys are getting either swept or 4-1.
That's why, I mean, as much as I like Homeboy, I just felt like there was just too much praise already to making him like the greatest ever.
Yeah, and he I think they said it. He's only gotten one double-digit win. I mean, one double-digit assist game in his career. I think some wild number like that. And I'm just like, you praising people who I get it. That's a cool achievement, but let's put some context. Because even when Golden State lost to LeBron and LeBron came back from 3-1, nobody talks about this ever. Andrew Bogut got injured in that game that Draymond Green got suspended from because LeBron was campaigning that Draymond should be suspended for a game. And people don't talk about that. And they were getting dick slapped.
That was Commissioner LeBron.
Exactly.
Commissioner LeBron be doing shit, bro.
And that's the problem.
He runs the league.
So
whatever
like,
my man says.
Shit like that.
GM LeBron.
I don't like. And people be wanting to, for the most part, harp on and not bring any of that up. Because that means Bogut was playing extra minutes that he shouldn't have been playing, and then he broke his kneecap the way it happened.
I remember that. Listen, you know what's so crazy? Bogut, when they first came, you can make an argument that team could have been even more dynamic because Bogut really didn't get a chance to play 100% until later on with them. Because he was there for a bit, and it wasn't really working out. Hold on, I can hear the feedback on that. Beautiful.
Exactly.
No, I can hear it.
No, I'm making sure.
Okay,
the audio is good.
Okay. I think we're okay. We'll be fine. We'll work through it.
I'm making sure. We're making sure.
No, I got it. You tested it. But I was gonna say that Andrew Bogut could have been even more dynamic. He's kind of been injury prone on GS, and if he was 100% his whole tender, who knows how powerful they would have been. And this is a dude that was playing off of the bench, and not only that, I mean, wasn't Bogut like touted something ridiculously as a big man and the sixth man and all that other stuff?
Well, he won. He was drafted number 1.
I know.
And then
he was supposed to be a beast. And
yeah, beast didn't. Most of those guys from Europe don't end up being a beast. It's like really rare. Besides Dirk, and like now you have Doncic.
It's just hard, bro, because like the NFL is a tough.
The NBA.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, the NBA is tough because these guys, they don't play that finesse shit that much.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Let's shift gears because I feel like we don't want to get the audience fatigued on the NBA. We were going hard, so we'll cap it with this. I think it would be interesting if Brooklyn takes him. I don't know how far or how dynamic they might be, but who knows? I mean, those are two guys who seem to enjoy the spotlight a little too much, and it might be dangerous to put them in one building.
True, and there's just a lot of talent, so it would be interesting to watch.
Yeah. So Elon Musk goes crazy as usual. Besides him joining, I think he joined the S&P 500 or the Nasdaq or the Dow Jones. I'm not sure. It was one of those big mutual funds that Tesla stock just joined. Besides that, and besides him sending people from NASA to outer space. Homeboy calls bullshit on COVID testing because he has 2 positives and 2 negatives. So where does that leave the people at? Is some of this testing, we're getting all crazy now. They're dropping facts like 250,000 people are dead, right? By some of my smart people, that was, I think, 1% of the population. Which, if we care about human life, period,
that's not even. There's like 0.0000 something percent.
Right. I get you, but all lives matter, and we
how dare you?
I know we got to be concerned about the people that are perishing. So he says this. So are we overlooking it? Where, could there be situations where there's a lot of false positives and are they skewing the numbers? And now I heard something crazy that now they want to switch it back the other way. Now they're not posting COVID numbers because they want to keep the stats down. Like, what a mess, bro.
I think what they were doing this whole time was trying to make Trump look bad, and to continue to make him look as bad as possible until Biden is in, and then all of a sudden you're gonna have 500 vaccines. You're gonna have a shit ton of tests that are 1,000% accurate. I just think what they should just do, instead of they just doing politics this entire time and playing with people's feelings and emotions and trying to take advantage of people on an emotional level, just be honest. And if we be honest with what tests are 100% accurate, and those tests can prove that if a person does die from something, it is COVID directly because of COVID, then I'm okay with everything. But the fact that they're doing shit in certain ways, in certain manners for money, you can't trust the government right now or trust any of these numbers. Because even the CDC comes out and says like 16% of that 250,000 people who are recorded dead died directly because of COVID. So now, like, who are we believing? Like, what is it? Because again, people were dying. Like right now, if I were to just drop dead from a heart attack, and I would tested positive for COVID, they said I died because of COVID.
Right.
But like, you can't report those numbers that way. Like, you have to report it. All right, I had COVID. COVID fucked me up. I had whatever. We got to find out what the exact correlated symptom is that kills people, and then report COVID that way. And that's the only way I can see us moving forward and actually predicting things. Is just, I think I harp on this last 2 episodes, is just being honest with the numbers and let the people decide what they want to do with their lives.
Well, hopefully, now that Kamala Harris is the vice president of the United States, she talked about, my man Joe and his transparency plans to being more honest with the U.S. Public. So we'll see how that transpires and how much stuff comes to light. It just sucks that I shouldn't say companies, but organizations like the CDC and the HWO are, I hope I said that right. I think it's
WHO.
Yeah. Say one thing and then go back on it, and then go back forward on it, and then go back.
Well, the issue I don't have a problem with that is because it's something that's new. So like you have to keep updating with new information.
Yes, I get it, but that's the problem though, right? Like it just makes it even more difficult because something that was okay one week is not okay the other week.
Yeah.
Right. And now segueing us into this, it's like, okay, so now states are starting to lock down again. COVID is on the rise again. From the little bit that I read, I didn't get too heavy on it, but we're not experiencing massive deaths, but we are again, putting pressure on the medical field where, hospital beds are being probably at full capacity. Physicians and medical personnel are probably working more hours than they normally are. And so now the cold comes, your whole idea for UV light disappears at 4 o'clock. So, COVID is going to be popping. But the first thing they think about is reshutting down indoor dining. And I don't know, for you guys, was bars already closed?
No, they were open here.
Okay, right. So, and what are you guys? Are you guys going to start turning the clock back according to Blasio or Cuomo?
Supposedly he was trying to impose the 10 o'clock on Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. All the bars and restaurants had to close, but that got shut down by the courts. You can't impose that. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
But it's weird because it's like bringing him up, Cuomo, like they got these weird ass fucking rules. Like you're telling people who are with their own family that you can't have more than 10 people in your crib. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, you can't tell me how many people I can have in my crib. I could take the risk of whatever I want in my own home. And he's telling law enforcement to enforce these rules, to give people tickets and send people home type shit. He's telling the cops to enforce these laws. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, you're going to tell people not to sing in their own house? Like, you can't take that next step. You can't. You just can't. And if this like gets pushed through, because people are getting either agreeing or disagreeing on fear as opposed to logic, and it's a little scary if people are like, oh yeah, you shouldn't be singing, or yeah, that's fine, they can't come to my house. Like, you're gonna have those people out there who are gonna agree with this, and it's a scary step, because once you let that go, it's gonna be, what's the next thing? What if I say fuck the police or fuck Governor Cuomo or something like that? Are they gonna be allowed to come to my house and arrest me for saying something derogatory? Like, what are we going to sacrifice? What are we sacrificing?
You're talking about like the deterioration of our rights.
Exactly. And we give away a little bit. And then once you give a little bit of rights, you never get those rights back. They never say, all right, we're going to go the opposite way now.
Right. I just find it interesting that it's okay to fucking open up strip clubs, but not restaurants and bars, which is
because you got all the politicians who go to the strip clubs.
Well, not only that, I mean, look, Governor Newsom, we were just talking about it off air. He literally issues like a stay-at-home
a gag order, or say that home.
And then homeboys at the club popping it off.
Yeah. And like,
right?
And like, if he would have said, I think Joe was talking about this, Joe Rogan, he was saying like, if he would have said, hey, look, everybody on this list was tested, everybody was clean, and we went. But now, if he does say that, all right, cool, I'm gonna have everybody tested and come to my house, or come test tested and come and go to work, which some companies are doing that. But you can't set that precedent and putting all these shits in place, and then you go and do it yourself. So that's like the annoying part to this whole thing, where like you got to let people decide what they're going to do and what they want to do with their lives. You can't babysit grown ass fucking adults, and they got to do a better job of that as leadership. Like if I was running shit, if you're high risk, stay your ass home. If you decide to want to have people in your house, that's your own risk, and you have to be ready for whatever the repercussions come from that. But I can't tell you or what to do and what not to do when it comes to your own home, because you're not getting tax breaks for abiding by COVID lists. Like, you're not giving me a break on my energy bill. You're not giving me money towards food to decide what I'm going to do in my own crib. Like, you're not doing those things, so you can't impose those things on people. And that's what I say with that.
It's crazy, man. This is a whole new planet that we're in, bro. And I get a little bit nervous, only because it seems like the Democrats are really starting to push some really weird social agenda, and watching it happen in California is just getting crazy. And you know, our presidential elect is a Democrat, so it's going to be interesting to see how a lot of this stuff transpires into the 2021 year. I mean, I think what you said was kind of wild, that, you know, as soon as Trump's out, automatically everything's going to be, you know, great again, and it's going to be roses and everything's going to change around because these two cats are in the building. But we'll see. We'll keep monitoring it and talking shit about it.
I
but
hope
it's crazy for the holidays that this is the way we got to have the holidays.
But the one person I hope figures this out is Elon. I hope he does. I hope he goes, and what he does is gets all the tests that are out there for COVID that test negative and positive, and he does a test on which one is the best one that reports the best accuracy, because they need to do something like that. We need to have a standard one where, all right, Johnson & Johnson is the number one testing COVID kit, and this is 99.9% accurate. We can't have this guy getting 2 negative and 2 positive. That just can't happen.
That's insane. And I was gonna say that, you know, fucking Elon Musk is so goddamn busy. I can't even believe homeboy has time to fit in some of the extra shit he does, like tweeting or being able to try to tackle, you know, terrible testing in a situation where we should have the best testing at this point, right?
Exactly.
Like, it should be constantly scrutinize the way we're doing it to make sure that it comes out better. But yeah, we're a little bit against the clock today, because I want to keep us as tight and as ready as possible. Also, your boy has a couple other shows that he's lining up today. But I wanted to, when you talk about rights, and when you talk about you should be allowed to do what you know what is right, if you can do it within the law, right, and you're not breaking laws. I found it really, really interesting that people are giving so much shit to Scott Disick for dating a 19-year-old, right? And he's almost 40. I get that, and I want to like unpack it a little bit. But again, right, if you're telling me, like what you were just saying, if we have our rights, that person is legal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So which one is it okay? Is it okay? It's obviously it's not. It's terrible if they're underage, right? But if they're legal, why are you breaking more chops?
Because people have nothing to do right now, especially. It's COVID, and people are voicing their opinions more because we have social media. Because like back in the day, like 10, 15 years ago, it was frowned upon. So like you got these people with these moral codes, and they see it as like a bad thing. But if the way I see it is like, if it was the reverse,
exactly,
people would be like, oh shit, Scott is the man.
Facts.
Or Shorty's the man because Shorty's the woman because she's pulling a younger guy.
Isn't like, that a boy from Adam Sandler? Right?
Exactly. Or like when J-Lo's done it. You know, Madonna has done it. Like, correct. And
so why is that like, okay? That's such a double standard. I feel like feminism has been starting to wow out a little bit. Of
course.
I get it. Look, I understand. You know, me and Jason both have 2 daughters, and so we understand it. But at the same token, I mean, this is what I want, the larger picture to be understood. How come a guy can go fight in a war, right? But yet he can't buy cigarettes, can't buy booze, and it's looked frowned upon if a young lady who can also fight or join the military service at 18 is frowned upon if they date somebody 20 years older than them. Like, what does it matter? What does it matter?
People just want to worry about other people's lives, and it's a sad thing. And like my girl will tell you, she's like, "Yo, you don't give a fuck about nobody," and I'm like, I just don't like. I'm a nice person to people, and I want to be treated the same. I'll treat somebody nice if they treat me nice, vice versa. But like, I don't got time or mental real estate to worry about what you think of me.
Right.
I don't have time for
Rogan shit. The bandwidth.
Yeah,
the
I
bandwidth
just don't. I don't. I want. We're trying to get this podcast going. I'm trying to get streaming shit going. Right. I got two daughters to raise. My girl wants to get a house. Like that's all bandwidth in my brain that I got to think about and how to compute shit. And then I'm gonna worry about Jane in fucking in the supermarket saw me with I don't have a haircut, and she might think I look a certain way, so I have to that
was like yesterday for me, man. I had my head down to the grindstone so hard, I didn't even see the football game. I didn't even pay attention to the news that was coming off. I barely got onto Twitter because I was grinding, and I'm right there with you. Like I just find it fascinating. I know that there's nothing to do. I just find it fascinating as an argument. But I am there too. I'm just like, yo, who the fuck cares?
Like at the end of the day with Scott, like if he's being respectful to her and it's fine, then by all means, he should be doing whatever the fuck he wants to do.
Also, too, the flip side of this, right? They're giving Scott all this shit. Why they not giving Homegirl some shit?
Of course not.
You know she's got to be fucking with him for a little bit of the image too, right?
Oh, for sure.
Like Scott Disick is not some poor cat. Scott Disick is
I don't think he's stupid either. I'm pretty sure he probably has a strategy
going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's got a marketing strategy. He's probably got some shit. Like he probably taking applications for this shit just to stay relevant. Like I guarantee you that family doesn't do anything without.
No. They're very tactical. Yes.
I'm pretty sure Chris even hits him up like, yo, you going to do this, you're going to do that.
Actually, I think they have like a great relationship. And if I was him, I'd be talking to Chris all day long. By the way, I want to get Chris on the show. I think she's a genius entrepreneur.
Yes, she is.
I mean, however you want to slice it up or dice it up.
The rumor is she put Kim's tape out there.
Yeah, no. First of all, that is not the rumor. That is a fact.
That's crazy.
No, she didn't drop it. What happened was that so this is the story that I kind of got into the thing. Long story short, somebody in Ray J's camp released it, right? And then she did damage control. So instead of the tape just being circulated out there, she was like, "Look, if you don't stop it, I'll sue you. But if you slide me some money, I'll leave it alone." And that's what happened. You know what I mean? Like she basically let a porn company buy the rights,
and then they did the money from that and just flipped it.
And then they doubled it up. Exactly. She took him to the hospital, got her, some stuff. And then they just built the whole entire thing, because it's really weird when you follow the chronological success of Kardashian. Paris was like way larger as a personality than her at the time, and then the tape comes out, and then it's like, bye Paris.
Yep.
And
see you later, bitch.
Kim goes to like another stratosphere that I don't even think Paris could have even gotten into.
Nope.
You know what I mean? Because Kim is saving motherfuckers from prison and dealing with Donald Trump.
So and nobody talks about that with her.
Right.
That's the crazy part.
That's another crazy situation that, you can say whatever you want. But Homegirl is like super influential, and they're constantly doing stuff. And then, you teach the kids how to do it. That's why I think it's effective, right? Like, let's say for you and me, we start to smash on this digital marketing thing. The first thing we should do is teach it to the kids.
For sure.
Right? So that not that they got to be, Instagram models, but they understand
the business, the mechanics of everything.
Right, so that if they want to do something, they don't have to worry about traditional ways of getting a product or endorsing a product or, putting goods or services out there. Because let me tell you something, bro. I follow Chris on Instagram. That woman is no joke. Like, I wonder if she hires somebody, but a lot of her stories are from her phone. So Homegirl is just like busy.
She's just on it.
Yeah.
She's just on it.
But dude, her story has like 27 chapters. I swear to God, bro. It's like, when someone does it so many times.
Is it mad little?
Like a little dash.
Yeah.
It's a little dash. She's got mad little dashes. On top of that, she posts every day regularly. And then, I mean, I think Instagram is her main format. So if you're only using one platform, I feel like your life is a little easier. It's
For sure.
it's when you're using multiple platforms that you just seem like an animal.
I
Like,
just
that's
hope
why
all
Gary
the
Vee
people. I
is
just
unbelievable.
I just hope if anybody takes away from that little soundbite, that little soliloquy we just went off on, is don't give a fuck about nobody. Just be nice to people. Don't harm people, but don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about you at all, and just keep
Right.
pushing
Right.
with your
Yeah,
life.
just grind. Speaking about not giving a fuck and grinding, so I didn't get a chance because I was grinding yesterday. How good did Mr. Murray look last night with this Hail Murray? Did he throw any Hail Murrays last night?
The funny part, it was almost coming down to a similar scenario to a Hail Mary throw, but they obviously didn't convert it.
Right.
But the kid is special, man.
He's unbelievable.
The kid is special. And it was like Russell Wilson versus Russell Wilson last night, which was kind of crazy because they almost similar heights. And it was just going back and forth. DK Metcalf dropped a big wide open TD in the end zone to like extend the lead.
Not good. He's starting to fold into like already like TO territory.
I think he's okay. I just think it was a short week too.
He's an emotional dude, bro.
For sure,
So, like, you
for
can
sure. But
tell
he was
that-
fucking frying Patrick Peterson last night. Like,
was he?
Yeah, he was
Okay,
fucking
good.
him up.
He was cooking him because he didn't cook Ramsey last
But
week.
they were saying
Ramsey had him on smack.
they were saying with that it was that Russell Wilson didn't give him opportunities.
I agree. I watched the game. That was one of the games of the week that I really, really watched, and I don't understand. There was a lot of plays that Russ didn't just stretch the field.
He just didn't go to
You know
him.
what I mean? Right. He just looked at underneath stuff. But that could also be that, after a while of being chased by Donald, you start hearing footsteps. You know what I mean?
Also,
And
too,
it's
like Jalen was on him, but like a lot of this film, like DK was getting doubled. So like
where yesterday or
no, on against the
Rams
Rams,
game?
against the Rams game, like he was getting bracketed. So like when you got these DBs, like I locked him up, like
Right.
you was double teaming, bro. Relax, like.
No, but you would say, because I was talking. Shout out to my man Uncle Salty. We were talking about. That Jalen Ramsey is like one of the last shutdown corners in the league, so he could probably talk shit if he wanted to, right?
Yeah, yes and no, because remember he got cooked by Michael Gallup in Game 1 this year against the Cowboys, and they called a bullshit offensive pass interference that he was gonna lose the game. Like he did, he flailed backwards, and that was bullshit. So it's tough.
That's why you gotta like Stephen Gilmore, because Stephen Gilmore really is not.
That's one of the guys who's like really beat. Like he's really he said like, I'm here and I'm here to stay. Like he's emerged Stephen Gilmore.
Right, he totally was.
It's a little tough with DK because he's still young, and I just wish Russell would have gave him some options. Like him
I also think that
if it was like 10 targets,
not
then
thinking about the plays the way it should be played, right? Like, so for example, if we bring in the way they do it in the Bills offense, right? They use the smaller guys to stretch the field, not the bigger guys, right? And so like when you're trying to face inside, especially, and you're in the slot and you're the size of DK Metcalf, I mean, you're gonna battle and you're probably gonna win a lot of those battles. I feel like the way they draw it up in Seattle, they try to make everything else underneath, and then DK is the only deep threat when they have other players on that team. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Especially with their other receiver, Lockett, who could stretch the field like nobody's business.
Exactly.
I feel like they have figured out a way.
They gotta do a
balance both
better
groups.
job of being more creative when it comes to the playbook with Russ and his offense, where it's either Russ does everything or they run everything. There's no they don't try to balance it. Like Russ yesterday only had 197 yards passing. So
That's crazy.
So it wasn't like he was lighting it up. He just has some big deep passes, for 35 yards, 40 yards. But like everything else was underneath and short. But like you got to give your guys you got to give your playmakers a chance.
Yes.
Like it makes that's what gets me mad when I watch all these other guys like Julio with Matt Ryan.
Agreed.
I watch Devontae Adams. Fucking this guy gets him the ball. Like
he
double
does it.
team, triple team. Kyler
I was just gonna bring him up. Right, same thing.
We went with D Hop.
Yep.
Triple team in the end zone. I'm throwing him the ball for the game. Like You got to give your playmakers the ball. Like, no matter what, just give them the fucking ball. And you got these.
It's frustrating.
And it is especially for like what I could for a fan, one, and two, for the wide receiver themselves. Like, I get it. Like, if Tyler Lockett or Isabella from the Cardinals is 1-on-1 and he probably got open, but I'm still doing a D hop in double coverage. Like, you got to give your playmakers the ball.
The way that the NFL is drawn up right now, it makes sense for you. We talked about it too, to be taking a shot down the field all the time because the chances of defensive PIT are very high.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So at least even if the guy doesn't catch the ball, it's almost like what you were saying. And it's funny now that you can make this comparison to the NBA, but it's almost like playing without the ball, like we were talking about in the NBA. It's like, even if I don't catch it, let me throw it in his direction. Let me panic the DB and make the DB make a mistake, right? Because if you're constantly putting pressure on the defense, they're going to make a mistake. They're going to totally make a mistake. You know what I mean?
They got to do something.
When you don't do that, you just make the defensive coordinator be like, fuck it, we're just going to keep dialing up blitzes because homeboy is either scared or is overly overthinking how to protect the ball. Because there's a part of that too, right? You don't want to keep turning it over.
Because even like if you look at the Saints, like Kamar gets the ball, Michael Thomas gets the ball. Like they put these guys, their playmakers in situations. And I watched these like Julio had 6 touchdowns last year. Why does Julio Jones,
I don't understand,
top 5 wide receiver, has 6 touchdowns in the season? Like he should be minimum 12 to 15.
Not only that, it's been like the history of the Falcons lately. That homeboy doesn't even get a touchdown until like week 7, week 8.
Yeah, like
you're not even including him.
Like look at Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. Like Devontae Adams is getting targeted 12 to 15 times a game. Like even if he's double teamed or triple teamed, they're getting him the ball.
You know what I think too? Because isn't Rodgers' coach from college just like recently removed? I believe he is.
Oh, his quarterback coach took him out?
No. The head coach.
Okay. Yeah.
And the same thing with the coach from Arizona. I feel like as we start heading to more of coaches from the college,
to give the ball to the playmakers.
Yeah, they're like, look, just fucking air the shit out and let's stop playing games and just keep getting into that dude because the likeliness of catching it was just unreal. Now, I want to get real quick. What an amazing catch. What an amazing play. Like, I don't think it happens all the time, but again, you got to give a chance to your guy, not on triple team because that shit was just crazy.
You got to throw it to him. Like, even when Matthew Stafford did it to Calvin Johnson, like he was getting them in triple teams and double teams. Randy Moss double team, triple team. You got to give it to your guy and double and triple team. Like the reason why DBs are DBs, they're frustrated wide receivers, so they don't have great hands. That's the reason why they're DBs. So get your ball to your wide receivers and you go from there.
Okay, so we gotta before we start getting into our picks, we gotta do a couple of things, bro. So now, Drew Brees
injured
out
again
for a couple of weeks. Did you see who they're starting? By the way,
Taysom Hill,
bro. Should I start him this week? Because I picked him up.
You know what's crazy is you could start him in your tight end spot.
Nah, but you have to make him be a tight end, don't you? They said I was looking at it.
How they doing it?
He has to have tight end ability eligibility, and when I picked him up, I don't know if he has tight end eligibility.
If he's on ESPN, he does. He does have tight end eligibility.
Yeah, I'm playing on Yahoo, so I don't know.
Or even if you put him in a flex, like I think you could put him in a flex too.
Oh, that's true. I'm gonna see how.
But that'd be crazy. Now you have 2 quarterbacks to be sneaky.
No, well, my league is a 10-teamer, 2-quarterback league anyway. So I'm playing around with the idea of starting Cam Newton, Joe Flacco,
and Taysom
Hill or Teddy Bridgewater. Those are my guys.
Well, Teddy said I think they said that he might miss this week.
I would not start Teddy. That's why I benched him. And I went with Flacco and I went with Newton, right? Because I feel like the Jets are going to put up points just because they're off of a bye. They might not win the game. But, I mean, I don't know how much locked up they got the first-round pick because there's a lot of teams still trying to lose games.
Well, they got a 1-game advantage and then a 2-game advantage. That's it because they're 0-9. So
No, but there's
They're
like
nice.
there's tons of teams, bro. Like the fucking Jags are like knocking on our door.
Yep.
The Chargers
Cowboys.
are knocking on our door. Cowboys are knocking on our door. Like there's a lot of teams that are trash that are right there behind us, which is crazy that we don't have more real estate in the sense of space, right? Like we should at least have like a couple picks. We're like somebody's like right on our
my
tail.
Giants are gonna win the NFC East for 5 games. Like that's how sad it is.
I like this transition. I gotta tell you this, bro. I don't know, man. I'm telling you, I think you're wrong about Dimes. Did you see him pull off, Lamar Jackson last week?
Yeah, for sure. Another 34. Yeah,
shaking and baking,
shaking and baking. Like, but I've told you, like our defense is sneaky good. Like our team has been sneaky good all year.
Forget about sneaky good bullshit. Oh, and I gotta bring up something else because I tweeted it, and we'll go back to that for a second. Hold on. So sneaky good. First of all, the Giants have always been a very well coached team. No matter who the fuck is there, I always told you that they're always an 8-8 ball club. And it depends on where they're at, that they're either 2 games up or two games down.
Mm-hmm.
But the Giants are a phenomenal organization. You can't really name any of the defensive players, but they play sound defense.
Mm-hmm.
I even like their offense. I think, to be honest with you, I told you this last week, they play better, apparently, without Saquon because the offensive line, in my opinion, is kind of built a little bit more for throwing the ball down the field. Now, that being said, how come your coach is punching people in the face, bro? What's happening?
Yeah, I'm the coach. All right. What I say goes, fam. All right. The O-line coach, you want to talk some shit? This is how team, watch this. Pat, fire 2 on top of that. Hold that. And I'm gonna bring somebody else in who I fuck with. Yeah, the O-line coach got fired.
So he boxed him out and fired him.
Yep. So hold that.
Joe Judge is getting busy in the streets.
I like it. I like what I'm seeing, man. I like what I'm seeing.
You believe? Don't you think that's aggressive? He should have just fired him.
Fuck it. He must have said something about my mom. He got pit pat real quick, and then we move out. We move from there, man.
Wait, I've seen Judge pretty pissed off on the sideline. That guy looks like somebody you don't want to fuck with. He looks like
he looks good, man. He looks good. Our DBs are really good. I think we need a couple. We need a couple of edge rushers, and we'll be set. I think our offense is good. I like our wide receiving core.
They should go back to the way that Mr. Reese used to do it. Just fucking draft the ends until you have too many, right? And then draft like a lot of running backs and a lot of wide receivers, and that's it. You sign one guy here and one guy there, and we make a run.
I think they should trade Saquon. Trade him.
We talked about it. But I wonder. I mean, I'd take him in a heartbeat. I think that maybe the Giants aren't the best fit for him.
Probably not.
I mean?
But
I don't think the team is designed.
I think we would have been solid if we would have took Quentin Nelson, man. Solid our offensive line if we would have took him over.
Yeah, that would have been great. But you know what though? Like Quentin Nelson, and I know you're gonna disagree with this take. He's just not a splashy pick, especially in New York. Nobody wants to fucking hear an offensive lineman.
But when that offensive lineman is fucking open up holes.
I got you.
Like,
I got you.
You're like, oh shit! Wait, Danny Dimes has 45 touchdowns and 3 picks. He's not getting pressured so much. I wonder why. Like, you got to talk about the offensive line, and then starts and ends with the offensive line.
I think having like 2 different offensive coordinators hasn't been helpful, in the sense of like we talked about it a lot. Saquon is a great back, and I'm not trying to take anything away from him. I'm not saying that he's not an every down back, but I think it helps when you put the guy in space.
Of course,
the Giants were the best and always the best in my opinion. And I think a lot of teams, even the Patriots are a team like this, the Chiefs are a team like this, the Ravens are a team like this. You need 2 backs, bro. You just do. You might even need 3. You need a back that you just bell cow it right up the gut all day, every day. You need somebody who's dynamic, who can run it up the gut, but also could in space and take it to the house. And then you need a 3rd down back specialist who his specialty is just catching it and creating on his own for that, first down or whatever. I think when you have just one guy, it just puts too much pressure on that player, and the team suffers overall.
True. I mean, you gotta be a super duper special talent, and I think he's a great talent. I just don't think he's super duper special.
I also think that the NFL has changed. We don't need to run the guy up the gut 30 times anymore. That's a fucking old school thinking. This is not 60s football. If the fucking thing is everything for the quarterback and it's about spacing and all that shit, then let's do that.
And I don't see anybody beating the Chiefs.
No. Did you just see they picked up your boy too, by the way, who was found innocent?
Yep.
On all that See, Daddy be reading. Daddy be reading about
That's the sad part about the NFL, though. Like, It's not something you're guilty until proven innocent, not
Right.
innocent
Right.
until proven guilty. And that shit is whack. You know,
the
like
thing is, in the NFL standard, the moment you tarnish either the shield or the building, you're done.
but that shit sucks
Whether you're
because like I could say tomorrow if you were the commissioner of NFL or a player, I could be like, hey, say for Saquon, for instance, we ran to the elevator, Saquon touched my ass. Like, and it could just be me accusing him with no evidence, just me accusing him, he's already guilty.
Yeah, it's called fake news, bro.
And that
Fake
shit
news has way
is
more power
whack.
than real news. No one cares. That's the culture that we're in now.
That's sad.
It's
That's,
getting
I hope
crazy.
we could
It's getting
change that.
dangerous. I feel bad. I've talked about it all the time. You know, Ray Rice, it wasn't okay for him to hit his wife. That situation wasn't okay, but he got banned out of the fucking league. Meanwhile, they got married. They were able to reconcile, and I'm sure they're still together, but Homeboy doesn't play another down again.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then same thing with Homeboys. It's just like the moment, you know what sucks? The moment you put black and robbery, it just sounds terrible.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because if it was a white boy, and this is a fact, he would have not been as scrutinized, and he probably would have still had his job.
For
you know,
sure.
a little bit longer.
They would have, but all we have to
Now,
do
they
further
made it
investigation.
Yeah, they would have looked into it and then blah 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 blah. But right now, man, you can't get hot, especially in the NFL's eye. The moment you come out of your lane, you're done.
You're done, and it just sucks. It sucks so much.
It does, but again, it seems like the fucking Chiefs are just collecting all these players. I don't see anybody stopping them. They're playing at an alarming rate.
And since Russell has flop chopped the last 4 weeks, Patty Mahomes is right now in the driver's seat with Aaron Rodgers right behind him.
Nah, you gotta. I mean, I tell you this: if he wins this week, and we're gonna start on these picks soon, if Patrick beats Vegas in Vegas, he's got to be hands down the number one dude. And depending on how they do it, if they struggle, then you're gonna be like, well, there's still an argument. If
As long as you win, it don't matter. Like
no, what I'm saying, if he smokes them,
uh-huh.
then that takes it to a whole nother level, because now you're like, this dude is for real. Not only is he beating the teams he has to beat, not only is he, you know, staying competitive with the games that he should be staying competitive, he's dominating his peers, right? Because that's pretty much what MVP is supposed to be about. You're supposed to dominate. You're the best dude on the field.
And we might getting people trying to get a little Patrick Mahomes fatigue because he's been a beast since he started as a full-time starter. But you got to respect the kid. Andy Reid, perfect system, perfect situation.
Everything, bro. He's got the best tight end. He's got the best wide receiver. He's got the best offensive line. He's got like 90 running backs.
Yep.
He got
that running back situation has been a weird one. They all been eating a little each, but they've been moving the ball.
I tell you, that's what he gets. Like, you can't in today's NFL, for you to save your guys for the playoffs, you cannot run a running back 30 fucking times a game. It's inhuman. It's inhuman. You will break down. Don't give a fuck. You can't have 300 carries. You can't have 300 carries a game.
It's tough.
A season. You know what I mean? And then the next season do it again. And then the next season do it again. That's not gonna.
I think they say around like 300 touches is when the running backs start.
I like touches. I don't like rushes.
Yeah.
I'll give you the fucking rock, you know, on some Reggie Bush shit. You touch the ball 15 times
In space.
and and maybe 5 of those were runs up the gut, but you know, to keep people honest. But yeah, they gotta figure this out. So let's go right in, and I'll start it.
Okay.
Right? And we'll start with, in my opinion, one of the games of the week. Also, your boy's going to Vegas, and so
Nice.
yeah. So these picks are gonna mean something, because I might try to take some advice and try to sell myself either in and out of some of these picks. I'm gonna be trying to do some kind of parlay, but let's see how this goes. So the Kansas City Chiefs travel to where I'll be, which I'm sad I'm not gonna be able to watch the game. Let's start all over again so that I can get it nice and clean. Jesus Christ. The Kansas City Chiefs head to Jesus again. My gosh. The Kansas City Chiefs head to Vegas to play the Raiders. What do you think is going to transpire in that game?
All right, so we got Chiefs at -8 at the Raiders.
Okay.
So
smart money, you can't take the Chiefs, right?
I don't know. It's up in the air. I think they might cover this spread. Sammy Watkins is back into the fold.
Okay.
And the reports came out this week where John Gruden took a victory lap at
I heard about
Arrowhead.
that. That's not, that's bulletin board material.
So I've 8 points. It's under 10. So I might go with the Chiefs here. I think they light them up. I'm going to go with Travis Kelce. I think he destroys the middle of the field. I think they're gonna send Cheetah every play. Go. Like I feel like they're gonna just send these speedy guys out. So I'm gonna go with Chiefs to cover, and then Travis Kelce is my pick.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna go flip on this, and this is a crazy thing. I know they went with the lap, but right now the Raiders are starting to cook. Jacobs is a little bit more dominant than he was earlier in the season. Waller is just unbelievable. Like I brag about homeboy every week. Last week you thought that Derek Carr was a sneaky good fantasy play.
Yep.
I'm not gonna pick any of the Raiders as my fantasy guy. I'm gonna take the Cheetah as my guy, but I'm gonna take the Raiders to cover. I think this game is gonna be a lot tougher. It's gonna be, even if there was a victory lap, I think this is the kind of game that the Chiefs are gonna just pull out.
Okay.
I don't think they're gonna steamroll the Raiders. And Chucky's been getting these guys prepared every week. So I'm gonna take the Raiders with to cover the 8, and I'm gonna take Tyreek as my guy.
Okay. Good. What we got next? We got Patriots on the road at Houston, and Patriots are favored by -1.5.
All right, so this was an interesting game for me to look at. A lot of people, shout out to Uncle Salty. He's taking the Patriots on this. He said that Houston's horrible. Tabitha thinks that this might be like a lock of the week because she likes Pats in this too. I don't know. It's a dangerous game because I was trying to look at games that have low spreads to try to sneak on with the Vegas thing. So I think Romeo Cornell bringing in Belichick. It's going to be tough, but I think he knows what to do. So I'm going to take Cam and New England because one seems like they could get one done. And that monsoon last week, he still looked kind of good. Even though they were terrible and they played terrible football.
I think I'm going to join you on that. I'm going to probably take the Patriots 1.5 just because Houston is Houston right now. And I just don't.
A bunch of potatoes over there.
Yep, and I don't see the coaching. The coaching is not where it's at. Bill O'Brien was a bum.
Yeah.
And I just don't see it happening.
Cornell, but I don't think. Yeah.
I don't see it happening. He had a failed tenure as the Browns coach. So
it's two bad teams going against each other, and I'll take Bill Belichick in that fight. Always.
For sure, just like I did last week when I took the Dolphins, just because.
I know. By the way, what a performance! Jesus Christ!
We'll
Brian
get to
Flores for Coach of the Year.
For sure.
I'm throwing it out there right now.
So I got Patriots -1.5, and then in the game, I'll probably take. I'll go again. I'll take Jacoby Myers again.
Okay. Yeah. He's starting to cook. He threw a
touchdown last week. Yes, sir.
Homeboy's throwing passes. He's in the building. You got no problems with that.
Yep.
All right. Hold on here. Son of a gun. What are we doing? Hold tight. You guys fucking around. Not being 100% ready on this. I'm fucking pushing the needle fast, but let me see here. 1 second, everybody. Hold tight. Damn, week 11. That's magical. All right, so I'll take this. I'll put it out there. I gotta try to do a show. Shout out to Harrison Glazer. The Jets. Yeah, head to the West to play the LA Chargers. I don't have the spread on that. So what is that?
9.5 for the Chargers.
Oh my God. Okay, what do you think?
I think I'm gonna take the Jets to cover because again, Anthony Lynn is. I really feel like he's on his way out. I think he might get fired at the end of this year, just because the fact that this rookie Justin Herbert has showed up and showed out and has gone against all the top guys and said, "Yo, I'm here to stay," and they can't win just by little things on the defensive end, or even putting Herbert in a bad spot in situational football. 10 points is basically 10 points. It's a tough one. I know the Jets fucking suck, but Flacco turned back the clock last week or the week before and put up some points. So I'm gonna go with the Jets to cover, and I'll take Keenan Allen in the game.
That's good. I like that. This is gonna be tough for me because I know the Jets' history and it's hard, but 10 is a lot of points. They also have a bye, which I think favored New York a little bit. But I'm going to go crazy. And this is probably not what I'm going to bet, but I'm going to take the other way. I'm going to say that the travel, everybody headed west, is going to be a little crazy. I don't know if they're already in town or when did they leave. but I just don't know how the dysfunction travels. I think that this is going to be a game that there's going to be a lot of scoring, but I think that the Chargers are going to try to, because the thing is this, the Jets DBs are just potatoes. They're terrible.
And they just cut one of the top guys last week to make room for younger players, they said.
Right.
But they for Trevor.
Right, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Tanking for Trevor. I'm going to take, it tends a lot, but I think the Chargers, this is the week that they start to turn it around and actually show. I think that the Chargers have just been in some tough games. So I'm going to take the Chargers to cover, but I'm going to take Joe Flacco in this game as my fantasy player.
All right, now we have the Detroit Lions at Carolina, and Carolina's favored by -3.
All right, so this is going to be an easy one for me. I'm going to go with Detroit, and I'm going to take Stafford. Stafford, again, another player. You know, there's so many guys that are doing it so well that I think we forget about Stafford, and Stafford is throwing to guys that are not household names. And I think Matt Patricia is kind of doing pretty good there. They're a pretty decent team. He's not doing great. Forget about the fact that he played for coached on the Belichick. If we just look at it as an isolated situation, they are more competitive than they've been in a while. And it's a toss-up now. It's not an automatic that they're gonna lose. So I'm gonna take Detroit in this one only because Teddy Bridgewater is probably not gonna play. And then what's the spread on this?
-3. So
totally.
The
Detroit
Panthers are. So you got +3 with the Lions.
So I'm gonna take Lions and I'm gonna take Stafford.
I think I'm gonna join you on that, just because I don't know. Steady Teddy's not playing.
Facts.
Or leaning towards not playing, and then McCaffrey's out too. Mike Davis hurt his ankle last week.
Jesus Christ!
So you got a lot of people over there who are injured. So I'll probably go with Detroit to cover. And my fantasy player, I think Galladay's playing this week, so I'll take Galladay.
All right, that sounds fire. I like it. Okay, so the Atlanta Falcons head to play the Drew Brees-less New Orleans Saints. What do you got?
All right, Saints are -3.5, and the Falcons. I'm gonna go with the Saints to cover because the Falcons are the Falcons, and I'll keep saying that slogan and keep pushing that agenda because
I don't know what's wrong. Right?
They just can't get the ship right. I think last year they went 5-0 without Drew Brees. I think Sean Payton can win games in a myriad of ways. Taysom Hill, they'll say he probably be the starting QB, but who knows? He'll probably throw Jameis in there, and he'll have Taysom run fucking up the seam route or some crazy shit. And just Kamara, Michael Thomas, Kamara, Michael Thomas. And they'll come up with the victory. Marshawn Lattimore is playing out of his mind, but they said he might be he's hampering something. They said, but I'll take the coaching of Sean Payton all day over anything in Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm not gonna dwell on this game too much. I was a huge fan out the gate of Atlanta. They are a team that doesn't quit, but for whatever reason, their defense never gets stops, and they have a lot of talented players on defense, which is crazy. But for sure, Alvin Kamara is the best running back in the league. Michael Thomas, you can argue, is the best wide receiver in the league. They got a great offensive line. They got great defensive players. And 3 points is money, even though there's no Drew Brees. And they've won, like you said, games without Brees. I think that Sean Payton totally understands how to execute things. I think it was a couple weeks ago he took Drew Brees out of a goal line play to put in Hill. And Hill is just unbelievable. He's a Swiss Army knife. Yep. This guy can catch passes as a wideout, tight end. He can run the rock as a running back. He can run the rock as a scrambling quarterback. And if someone is open, homeboy can kind of hit them. So, multifaceted. I love the Swiss Army knife. I'm going to take Taysom Hill as
your fantasy pick.
Yeah. And the Saints to win this game. What do you got?
I'll take the Saints, and then I'll take Kamara.
All right, sounds dope.
Just
okay,
because.
good. Yeah, unbelievable.
All right, then we have the Eagles going to Cleveland, and Cleveland is favored by 3.5.
That's gonna be easy. I'm gonna take Baker. He's gonna keep cooking. I know that Beckham is not playing this week and probably not playing for the rest of the season, but I don't think that that's gonna be too much of a problem. I think that they're starting to catch their stride. I think the big thing that a lot of people are not talking about, if Nick Chubbs could stay healthy, this team's a problem because between Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubbs, they can control the clock and it can.
Did you see that bullshit that they did last week? That he ran out of bounds at the 1 yard line.
First of all, thank you, Nick Chubbs, for being like a smart player in that regard, because apparently Todd Gurley didn't know how to execute that play a couple weeks back. But damn, you fucked everybody, bro.
Yo.
You're gonna give us more points. I need more points, and I gotta be in the points department. But that was
Yeah.
a great heads-up play. I think it's showing us that maybe Cleveland is starting to learn how to win.
I think it was stupid, but that's we could say the
I
topic
agree
for
with
another
you.
time.
Listen, I want score
Because if you score, you go up 2 scores.
I know that, and I
Is-
looked at the numbers. They would have had to score a touchdown to come up with them.
Touchdown and a 3-point and a field goal.
So, but like I said, I like them, and I think Philly's just not good.
Yep.
Philly they just have too many problems. I think them winning, it's like a lot of teams. Them winning the championship got them a little saucy on the sauce.
Mm-hmm.
So give me the 3, and I'm gonna take Baker.
Okay.
Baker
I'm
and the
gonna,
Browns.
I'm gonna make this short because fuck the Eagles.
Right.
We're gonna go Cleveland all day, and I'm gonna go with Nick Chubb.
Nice.
He came back with a vengeance, and he looks
he's pissed
better
off
than
or
ever
something.
for sure.
All right, let's see here. Oh my God, this is terrible and interesting at the same time. The Cincinnati Bengals travel to DC to play the Washington team.
I'm gonna take the Bengals in this game just because I'm gonna take the quarterback. That kid is another special. We've never seen this much talent at the quarterback position in like the history of the NFL, where there's 20 to 25 quarterbacks that could play in this league. And I'm gonna go with Joe Burrows as my fantasy pick, and I'll take the Bengals to win on the road.
All right, cool. I'm gonna flip the script because I think that a lot of people are not talking about it, but their head coach is battling cancer. He's playing on the sidelines. I think that they're starting to get it. Alex Smith is one of the best generals you could hire that are not some big flashy name guy. They're starting to turn it around there. Their defense is playing better. They just had a meltdown against against Detroit last week, but they were smoking them. I don't think they're gonna smoke. But what's the spread on this?
-1.
All day. I'll take the Skins, and I'll take Alex Smith on this as my fantasy player.
All right. We got Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers travel to Jacksonville to play the Jags, and Pittsburgh is minus for 10.5.
All right, so that's a lot. After the way they played against Dallas, I'm a little worried. And I told you the fatigue is starting to set in, right? Like we've seen this a lot with Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning would go 10-0, 11-0, but once you start to get to the 12, the 10s and O's, teams are like looking to knock you off. Like they're not going to win the Super Bowl, but they can be like, "Yo, we just beat an undefeated team," and that's enough for them. Saying that, I don't think it's going to be Jacksonville, but I do think that Jacksonville is going to create some problems. And last week, homeboy lost a lot of money betting on the Jags on that ridiculous fucking spread against Green Bay. So, and I like their new quarterback. Their new quarterback seems to get it. Like he doesn't hold the ball as long as Gardner Minshew does.
Yeah.
I think his name is Sutton. I might be wrong on that, but
It's like Shelton, some weird shit like
crazy. You got to show me something this week, homeboy, for me to get your last name right. But I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna take the Jags to cover, and I'm gonna take Ben Roethlisberger as my fantasy player.
Okay.
I think they're gonna have to toss a lot. They're gonna pass the ball a lot.
I think I'm gonna take the Jags with you because 10.5 is a lot. Anything 10 and up is a lot. So I'll take the Jags to cover, and I'm gonna go with DJ Chark.
I know you were going with him last week. Yeah, he's starting to get up. I actually like Cole too in that game. He's starting to emerge as well. Like they got players now starting to emerge.
And Chanel might play this week, the other wide receiver that he was cooking in the slot.
I like Jacksonville. I do. I just sad for them.
I don't know. I don't know what happened over there. So I'm gonna go with the Jags to cover, and I'll go with DJ Shark to as my fantasy pick.
Okay, the Tennessee Titans head to Baltimore to play a very, very, very sad and depressed Baltimore Ravens team.
I'm gonna take the Titans in this game. It's +5. I think there's a lot of points. I think this game is gonna be close. Probably be by 3. This game's gonna be decided by 3. They might just play keep away with King Henry.
Yeah.
And I just don't like. He can't get the ball to the outside. As electric and dynamic as Lamar is, he can't get the ball past the outside numbers and hitting his playmakers in space. I know last week he threw the ball pretty well in that monsoon, but you lose to the Pats, and I just don't. They probably could win this game, but I don't see them smashing the Titans. So I'm gonna take the Titans to cover, and I'll take King Henry.
All right, I'm gonna go crazy. I've been sticking with them, win, lose, or draw. I love Lamar to death. I definitely think he played way better in that monsoon game.
Yep.
I think it's something for them to build on. I think that they're starting to try to figure out. I also think that they had some silly follies, like Ingram fumbling the snap on a fourth and short play. So silly things like that I think are not going to happen in the game. And there was a lot of drops. Obviously, the ball was very wet. I think somebody who's also having a great season is Willie Snead. He's good, and I think now they're starting to get it. So I'm gonna take the Ravens. I think they're gonna smack the Tennessee Titans because they're pissed. And with Ingram back, that changes the whole dynamic of that offense because that guy can just run. I don't know what Tennessee's run defense is like, but if they can get Ingram running, I think it opens up things for Lamar, and I think it moves things down for the field. I'm gonna take them, and I'm gonna take again. Actually, I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna take. Let me see who's scoring over there because Lamar doesn't seem to be getting in the end zone. But it's okay. I'm going to stick with Lamar. I'm going to take Lamar, and I'm going to take Ravens +5 because I think Lamar is due for a couple running touchdowns.
Okay. Now we have Miami Dolphins and Tua Tagovailoa going to the Denver Broncos.
This
and
is how much
Broncos are 9.5. 3.5. 3.5.
Oh, 3?
3.5 for the Dolphins traveling
Correct.
to Denver.
All right. So this is my lock of the week. Seriously. And I'm going to take Miami. Like I said earlier in the show, I'm gushing about my man Flores. I like when we got the black and the Latin combination, because those are my peeps. So I like it. I'm loving it. I can't believe how good they are. The defense is awesome.
They stout.
Their offensive looks great. I told you last week that Tua says the game is looking easy for him. So we're gonna take Miami and we're gonna take Tua.
Copy. I'm gonna second you on that with the Dolphins because Drew Lock supposedly is battling some injuries.
Yeah, but they're just terrible.
And the Broncos just are not that good. So and the Dolphins just look great, man. Brian Flores is doing a great job, and I'm gonna take the Dolphins defense as my fantasy pick.
6-3, bro. Whoever would have fucking thought that?
Exactly.
Right? Dolphins. I mean, they might finish the season with a 11-5, 10-6 record. That is unbelievable with someone that you didn't even think nothing about Miami. So
exactly. And Tua was undefeated.
Yes, congratulations, Miami, for nailing it. Finally, show the Jets how it's done. Okay, so our next game is Aaron Rodgers. This is for me a kind of an interesting game of the week. Not a lock, but an interesting game. Just because it's going to be I feel like a lot of offense. You got Aaron Rodgers in the pack headed up to Indianapolis to play the Colts, and Phillip Rivers. What do you think?
This is going to be a close one. Colts defense has been on another level. Like they've really been balling out the Colts defense last couple weeks. But I'm gonna just go with Aaron Rodgers because
what's the spread, by the way?
-1.5 for the Colts.
You gotta.
So I'm gonna take the Packers, just because I think they can't stop whatever the connection they have with Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers. It just can't be stopped, and I think that offense is gonna keep pushing it. Aaron Jones does what he's doing, and I'm gonna probably take in this game. I'll probably take Devontae as my fantasy pick until he gets stopped.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna go opposite with you just because the point spread is so low. I'm gonna take Phillip Rivers, and I'm gonna bank on that Colts defense to slow down Rodgers enough to win by whatever. And I'll take Colts and I'll take Phillip. I think I think that the spread is so close that Vegas think that this is gonna be a battle and it's probably gonna come down to the wire. So I'm gonna go with what Vegas is trying to tell me, and I'm gonna take Phillip Rivers and the Colts to do this.
Got you. All right, now we have the stinking Cowboys at Minnesota. Minnesota's -7.
So the term of the season a few years ago was swagger. This year it seems to be cooking. You gotta take the chef of all chefs, Dalvin Cook. I know you keep a little bit more track of this than I do. Homeboy's playing, right?
Yep, he's playing.
100% healthy.
Yep.
For the most part, even if it's 8. Let's go with the Minnesota Vikings. Last week, I didn't think they were going to dazzle as much, but I think they're starting to get it. Accordingly to ProFootball.com, their rookie wide receiver is just unbelievable. He has some of the best catches. Jefferson in the deep ball stratosphere. I think that helps them out a lot, and then that opens up things for Thielen and for Cook. I take Minnesota all day because Dallas is just not good.
I'm going to second you on that. I'm going to go with the Vikings to cover the -7. I don't know what is going on over there with the Cowboys, but they're not looking good. And I'll probably take Justin Jefferson. I think he's gonna cook that Cowboys secondary. I just
100%.
don't. They're gonna have to play a lot of the front seven is gonna have to play up more, and the wide receivers are probably gonna run wild.
Nuts. Okay. That sounds good. I definitely I think the 7 is gonna be a lot, but we're gonna mess with it. And then we're gonna move into the superstar game of the week that I'll be watching in Vegas. I was thinking about putting money on this game, but I'm not going to because this game scares me a little bit. But I think the smart money has to be. What's the spread on this? This
-4.
So -4
For the Bucks.
LA Rams head over to Tampa Bay to play the Bucks and Tom Brady. And he said it's 4.5 or just 4?
It's just 4.
Okay, cool. The Bucks have the Bucks. The Rams have the best defense in the league. Isn't that nuts? They got the best defense in the league, bro. Or one of. They're like second with the best defense in the league. That's a little scary. I think I'm gonna go crazy because I'm gonna listen to my guy Hollow Clutch. Just so Hollow Clutch knows that I've been paying attention. Tom Brady's Achilles heel is getting sacked. I think the Rams are really, really good at that. And I'm gonna take the Rams to cover in this game.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take shucks. I'm gonna take my boy. I'm gonna take Gronk as my fantasy player, and then I'm gonna take the Rams to cover this.
Okay. I don't know what to make of this game.
Yeah, it's a trippy one.
It is trippy. They're at Bucks.
They get blown up by the Saints. Then the next game they blow out the Panthers. Now they're at home. It's a Monday. You know what I want to say while you think about it?
Mm-hmm.
The few times that and it's not Brady because Brady's a beast, but the few times that the Bucks have played prime time, the Bucks team hasn't played good. Tom's played great.
True.
But for whatever reason, I feel like the team is trying to figure out how to be all-star and they don't know yet.
Yeah. I'm
right?
just leaning on this all week. I'm not going to waver for him now. I'm going to go with the Rams to cover. Just because 4, I feel like, is a lot. I think this game is a lot closer than what people think. And I think my fantasy player is going to probably be Ronald Jones. I think he'll get like 1 or 2 touchdowns at the goal line or a couple catches where he has to sneak in. Because they do have a 3-headed monster, Tom Brady, with the wide receivers. So even if Ramsey stays on Mike Evans, got 4.
There's too many guys. There's just too many guys. You got Crate, you got Gronk, you got Brown now, you got Evans, and you got Godwin. That's 5 people that you got to watch. And that's not even including the running back stable that they have because they still have Fournette and they still have Jones.
Exactly.
So you have legitimate 7 players that you have to watch. That's
for sure.
Lot. So I'm still banking on the Rams, though, because they have Donald. And Donald is going to be all over Brady.
Yes, sir.
All right, so that concludes the picks. So I also wanted to give a shout out. We got to start. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for bearing with us as we continue to learn. I want to give a shout out to Rode for making the board that I'm using. It's a Rode Podcaster mixing board. It's absolutely phenomenal. It helps you bring in 4 different mics. It has 7 different outputs. It's really great. And then I also wanted to give a shout out to the people that make Jay's mic. That mic is fire. Very expensive.
Elgato.
Yeah, the Elgato 3, right?
The Wave 3, yes.
Yeah, the Wave 3. And so wanted to give some shout outs. We're still not sponsored yet, but we just also want to let all the people know that their products work and it's awesome.
For
you
sure.
got anything for us before you dip out?
I just want to thank everybody whoever tuned in and watched us today. We had a couple of comments in the chat today. I want to thank everybody for showing up, liking the video, subscribing. If you guys want to catch us, make sure you check us out on Twitter.
By the way, what was some of the comments?
We had Ramsey is not a shutdown corner. Jair Alexander, Jamal Dean. Somebody came in with Jesus Christ is coming back. Some wild shit.
Nice, that's good.
And a couple guys saying yes, they agreed to some of the stuff we were talking about. But nothing crazy. You kept saying Saquon's name wrong, supposedly.
Nice, that's what I love it.
So
I think I call it Saquon.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but besides that, I just want to say thank everybody for their time.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. We appreciate y'all so much.
All right, guys. Everybody have a good day. Yes. We'll catch you guys next week.
Hey, we're gonna come on live, but for those who are listening and see this, happy Thanksgiving, you guys. We'll see you the day after.
For sure.
All right.